Who will be the breakout wrestlers in 2022? Going to be looking through multiple different promotions today here on SCW, including AEW, WWE, NXT, Impact Wrestling, and more. Welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Plenty of wrestlers to discuss. In fact, 20 in total I've selected to watch out for as potential breakout wrestlers in 2022. You can go for the chapters featured below to go with your favourite promotion, and I do encourage you to go in the comment section and let me know who you think will be the breakout wrestlers this upcoming year. But without further ado, let's get straight into it, starting off with AEW. First on the list is none other than Wardlow. Now, Wardlow has been MJF's bodyguard for the last couple of years now in All Elite Wrestling, and it does feel like even though he's a member of the Pinnacle, he has been well protected and held back, waiting for the correct moment to be a breakout star in AEW. And it does feel like in recent weeks, Wardlow is starting to pick up quite a bit of momentum, finishing matches in a very quick fashion with multiple power bombs to the point that you just know the person might as well be stuck to the mat at this point. He does have an upcoming match coming up with CM Punk actually at the time of recording on the upcoming episode of AEW Dynamite. I'm sure that will be a losing effort, but could be the starting point of what could be a big year ahead for Wardlow. I do predict that this year Wardlow will break out to become a singles solo star and a babyface at that, breaking away from MJF and probably having a big time feud which will push him into superstardom, kind of similar to what happened if you go back to WWE with Evolution back in the day when Batista broke away from Triple H. Don't be a hater with this next choice. Of course, I'm talking Jamie Hayter to have a big 2022. She's already started off with friction with the Dr. Britt Baker DMD. It looks like that we could have these two breaking away from each other in 2022. I personally would prefer this breakup to happen after Britt loses the AEW Women's World Championship, although there is a chance that perhaps this could be a title match heading into Revolution. One thing is for sure though, when she does break away and becomes a babyface, I do think Jamie Hayter will more than hold her own. She's a very accomplished talent in ring, and I expect her to become at least the TBS champion before the end of the year. In my opinion, I think Thunder Rosa should be the one to become the next AEW Women's World Champion from the Dr. Britt Baker DMD. They had a fantastic match last year, and of course you would already argue that she's kind of a breakout star, but I do think there's a level up she could go. I think she could become the face of the AEW Women's Division in 2022. If Thunder Rosa beats Britt Baker and becomes the champion going towards the summer, I think that the year is going to be very bright for Thunder Rosa, so I expect her to have a massive year ahead. You've seen the thumbnail. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Yes, I'm going to send Hook as my next potential breakout wrestler of 2022 because damn it, he seems to be the most over thing going on social media when it comes to talking about AEW right now. He's had the #1 selling t-shirt as well already, and the guy with each and every match he's had so far, and he's only had 3 of them at the time of recording, he's not been overexposed to anything of his limitations. He's only had 3 matches and he's looked strong in each and every one of them, and he's shown us something different in each match as well. I think this momentum will continue with Hook in 2022, and I think we're going to have a real breakout year. And whatever he's doing, it's working, put it that way. He's doing so many things right. So many people are interested in what is going on with Hook. So I think he's going to have a bright 2022. In fact, I have actually got some ideas of a fantasy booking video of how I'd like to see Hook booked in 2022. If you're interested in that, then make sure to hit the thumb up on this video and make sure to drop a comment on it as well. Last but not least then for AEW, my last selection is going to be Darius Martin. That's right, the other brother of Dante Martin, because of course Top Flight were expected to be a very bright, up-and-coming, exciting tag team going in towards 2021. Darius had a massive injury which took him out for the long haul, and of course Dante Martin has become a shining bright star in AEW in the meantime, arguably becoming one of the biggest breakout stars in 2021. And I expect that to continue in 2022, but Darius, of course, I'm sure will make his return during this calendar year, and I mean Tony Khan has already stated he's very excited for the future of Darius and seeing what he can bring to the table. So I think a big year is expected, whether it's singly as an individual star or more than likely as the team Top Flight, perhaps going for Tag Team Championship Gold towards the end of 2022. But one thing's for sure, Darius Martin is definitely someone to keep an eye out for in this calendar year when he eventually makes his return to All Elite Wrestling. Let's switch things up then, shall we, and go towards WWE. And the first breakout star for 2022 for me has to be none other than Liv Morgan. Now, of course, she's had a breakout year in 2021, but I think it can go better in 2022 because she got an opportunity, of course, going towards Money in the Bank. Fans really got on her side. You could tell as well that those plans didn't really go in towards SummerSlam for WWE because she wasn't booked for that show. But since then, she's had a program with Carmella, which went on for a number of months. She got drafted to Monday Night Raw. She was, of course, a part of the Team Survivor Series as well for the Raw side. And probably most importantly, she's just coming off now a program with Becky Lynch, which, of course, had the big championship match on December 6th edition of Raw, and even had a rematch at the recent Day 1 pay-per-view. Now, Liv Morgan isn't going to be going for the Raw Women's Championship for the time being, but I expect to have a good showing in the Royal Rumble. One other thing I could expect also is potentially a winner for Money in the Bank this year. I definitely could see WWE having plans for going for Championship Gold, perhaps towards the summer and later part of this year. So expect Liv Morgan to continue that momentum, but I think she'll be a women's champion before the end of the year. Next on the list is All Day Austin Theory. Now, of course, he was brought away from NXT to be actually drafted to Monday Night Raw towards the end of last year. He's been in segments with Mr. McMahon. He's even actually did pretty well in the Survivor Series match, also going down to the final two of the Raw team before being eventually eliminated from the match. It seems that Austin Theory is going to be going places in 2022, and I think that's going to start by becoming the next United States champion, defeating Damian Priest for the gold. We'll have to wait and see where it will lead to further in the year, but definitely time is on this guy's side. He's what everything that WWE is looking for in a future breakout star, because he's got arguably the look, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism, he's definitely got some charisma as well that goes about him, and he's got age as well. Time is really on this guy's side. So depending on what WWE wants to do with their company going forward and trying to build and make a new future Randy Orton or someone like that, Austin Theory has the tools for that. So yeah, I'm expecting big things once again from Austin Theory in 2022. Following up on this list, we've got Montez Ford. Now, ironically, yes, he's a breakout star as part of the Street Profits, but one thing I noticed towards the end of last year was actually Montez Ford had a singles match with Roman Reigns, and I looked at that and felt, this is a test. How well does this get over? And I remember it doing quite well on social media, sort of like the YouTube platforms and stuff. The viewership of this match was pretty strong for, Roman Reigns versus a tag team wrestler. And there was actually a bit of backstage speculation, if you want, and it depends if you believe these dirt sheets or not, that there was rumours the Street Profits could have been broke up last year in the draft. This makes me believe that at some point, WWE will actually break this team up and will go and push Montez Ford as a single star. Certainly in the mid-card would be the place to start off with, but maybe in future he could become a top guy. Time will tell, but one thing is for sure, if they're not broken up during this year, they definitely will get broken up in the draft, and I do think Montez Ford still will remain to have a bright future in WWE, and I think he could be a mid-card champion before the year is out. One more then on WWE's main roster. Let's talk Dominik Mysterio, because let's be fair, Dom is expected at some point to have a program with his father. I know that Ray probably will retire at some point going forward. It's definitely a dream to pass the torch over. There has been parts of friction with these two in the latter part of 2021, but it seems to have quietened down at the start of 2022 at this moment. Are they trying to drag this out till WrestleMania so that Dominik Mysterio can maybe A, go heel, and B, turn on his father, and C, get a victory at WrestleMania? It certainly puts you in good stead if you beat a former multi-time World Heavyweight Champion and a legend in WWE, and arguably the greatest luchador of all time. Dominik Mysterio would have literally, the sky would be the limit, let's be honest here. And I do think that if that is the case and this does all happen, then Dominik Mysterio will be someone we'll be talking about at the end of 2022 as one of the top breakout stars. Let's move over to NXT then, shall we? And someone that's already proving to be a breakout star in 2021 and carried on into 2022 is Bron Breakker. Of course, winning the NXT Championship from Tommaso Ciampa on New Year's Eve. I expect him to continue being a champion for multiple months in this year, and then to be caught up in the WWE draft, because let's be fair, he is currently the face of this NXT 2.0, someone they want to push as a future top star in the company. He's got everything that's going on in his favour of that as well. He acts like a Steiner, he talks like a Steiner, and as well, I think he's got the momentum of like Goldberg had when he started in WCW in the 90s. So all this put together as a package, Bron Breakker, it's a no-brainer on this one. This guy could be a future main eventer of WrestleMania. We could be looking at the very early stages of that now in NXT. So yeah, your NXT champion, I think, will continue to have another breakout year in WWE and starting off in NXT. Next on the list will be in Imperium. Now, you're thinking, why is Valter and, the Imperium tag team with Fabian Eichner and Marcus Bartel on this list to begin with? They're breakout stars in their own right, because WWE has finally got what they wanted. Valter is leaving NXT UK and he's on his way to the States. We've already got Eichner and Bartel as NXT Tag Team Champions, so I think this is going to be a fast track, and this group will be on Raw or SmackDown, possibly even as soon as after WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to wait until a draft for these three, and I think when they do come in, they're going to take over, because yes, your Twitter base and your sort of hardcore demographic would of course already know everything about these guys and what they can do, but I think when you take from a casual aspect, when you get the 2 million rating or the 2.5 rating for a SmackDown, and you see them on there towards the top end of the card, well, I could see Valter being a main event guy, Imperium will be a breath of fresh air for the tag team division. There's levels to go yet for this trio, and I think, to be honest, I'm really excited to see what the future holds now Valter is coming to the States. Just give him everything. Doesn't matter if it's WWE Championship, Universal Championship, matches with Roman, Drew, Sheamus, Big E, Lashley, Brock. Look, I'm naming them all here. They're matches I want to see, and that will take Valter not just as a breakout star, but a top star in the company. Next on the list for me is Carmella Hayes, because Mello don't miss, and I tell you what, he was definitely a breakout star of 2021. It's again that sort of same thing. I can see him being someone as a top star in NXT, perhaps even moving up during the calendar year. He's already unified the North American Championship and Cruiserweight Championship in 2022 already. He's had some great stand-up matches, and I feel that people are starting to really appreciate the brilliance of what is Carmelo Hayes in NXT. I think that will continue as well in 2022. He could even become a challenger for Bron Breakker in the very near future. It's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Next, let's talk Grayson Waller, because Grayson Waller has been someone is detestable, someone that nobody likes, and now they're booking him to perfection to go along with it. The Grayson Waller effect is taking over in NXT, and it's even getting glimpses on Monday Night Raw, confronting AJ Styles, attacking AJ Styles. This was the guy also that sort of wrote Johnny Gargano off of NXT towards the end of last year, was jumping off the steel structure in War Games as well, one of the standout moments that WWE are going to be showing for years to come. The momentum is right there, right now with Grayson Waller, and if he can continue to get the heat that he is getting at the moment, week after week in WWE, even with his program of LA Knights, you know that the future is going to be bright for the Aussie, and I personally feel he could be an NXT champion before the end of the year. Last one then for NXT, and let's talk Solo Sikoa, and let me tell you, what an incredible talent here, the third Uso, and he's not just half as good, he's right up there, and I like the way that he sort of presents himself as well. He's got the muscle, he's got the barefootness of almost like a head shrinker, like a Fatu back in the day, kind of taken after that heritage, and in ring, he's just complete no nonsense. He's everything that you just took the boxes to say, this is going to be a future top guy, definitely in NXT, and could be even fast tracked through to Raw and SmackDown to be perhaps even aligned or even against the Bloodline. Either way, I'd be down to watching any of it, but certainly I think more likely he would be alongside the Bloodline if he was to be called up. Quick shout out to NXT UK, and I'm going to give a shout out to Xia Brookside, because Xia Brookside is getting better year after year watching NXT UK. It just feels like sometime soon she's going to get that break where she can go for the NXT UK Women's Championship and at least win, if not having a real showcase moment. So I'm really excited to see what Xia Brookside can bring in 2022, and I'm hoping it's going to be a big time push, because there definitely is there's some star power there. It's just finding the right way to channel it and push it through to the NXT UK audience. Let's finish then with the breakout stars for Impact Wrestling, and I tell you what, she's already started off on a strong note, was in this list before winning Ultimate X, of course, this past Saturday at Hard to Kill. Of course, I'm talking about Tasha Steelz, because now she is the #1 contender. She's going to go for the Knockouts Championship against Mickie James at some point in the near future. I'm really looking forward to seeing what can happen for Tasha Steelz going forward. She, of course, had a great year last year, becoming the first ever Knockouts Tag Team Champions along Kiera Hogan. Of course, Kiera was to leave Impact later in the year. Tasha's been sort of finding her way as a single star. Of course, she has had some backup as well with her bodyguard, but I do think now is sort of the right time. It feels like things are connecting now as a single star, and I think she could end up being one of the top stars in the Knockouts division before the year's end. Next, let's talk about Lady Frost, because another one in Ultimate X that really stood out, and I was impressed with her last year watching her NWA Empower. I've seen a couple of appearances in Impact Wrestling since. Now we've seen it in Ultimate X here, and seeing what she can bring to the Knockouts division. She is a high flyer, a risk taker, and I think that she certainly should be pushed in and around the top end of the Knockouts division very quickly. There's a lot to offer there, and I definitely think with the gimmick as well, the Frosty style gimmick that she's got, she stands out in and amongst the division there of what is some great characters in Impact Wrestling. Again, it's another one I think has potential to be a champion before the end of the calendar year. So yeah, Scott Demore, if you're watching, make sure to push Lady Frost. She's definitely, without question, easily one of the stars of the future, and already seems to be one of the standouts that could be in and amongst the Knockouts division. Next, let's talk Marisa Slamovich, another one that really impressed the NWA's Empowered to the point that Mickie James handpicked her to take on Deonna Purrazzo at an Impact Plus special towards the end of last year. Of course, it was a losing effort, but she got signed to Impact Wrestling, had a great debut just this past week, and I think, again, it's one of those potential breakout stars we could see in 2022. She definitely looks to be a stand-up performer, a very interesting character as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to bring to the table in Impact Wrestling, and I do think that the future is bright for Marisa Slamovich. Next, let's talk Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, I must admit, I have not seen much of him before seeing him on the preview of Hard to Kill, but my god, was I impressed. How quick, how slick, how smooth his moveset is, and he's quite a unique individual with his kicks and his flips and stuff like that. I think we could see a real star of the future, a top Canadian wrestler who was actually banned from competing in the United States for 5 years. Thank goodness that has changed now, and he can now compete in Impact Wrestling, because I tell you what, Impact have got themselves definitely a gem here, someone that could easily be a top superstar in and amongst the company. I'll go to say at this moment, I think he's definitely got the potential to be X Division champion in the next few months, but who knows, this guy, the sky is the limit. I was mega impressed. Okay, granted, it's only been 1 or 2 performances that I've seen him competing, but I tell you what, I was mega impressed, and this guy is money. Last but not least, let's talk Bullet Club, let's talk Chris Bate, because when you say those two things individually, you may say, well, hang on, a breakout star already, a group that's been very much the height and talk of New Japan for many, many years. Well, now Chris Bate is a part of that faction. Of course, he joined it after Jay White inducted him into it towards the end of last year. So I think now Chris Bate can really push on. He's been in moments with Impact where he's been X Division champion. He actually went for the world title against Rich Swann, I believe, at the end of 2020. But things have sort of faded off a little bit in places in recent time for Chris Bate. I don't know if it's the tag team with Hikuleo or whatever, but I feel like he's been held back in recent times. I think he's going to have a resurgence in 2022 and really push himself further up the card. To have the representation of Bullet Club on your shoulders, you know that good things are coming your way. And Chris Bate is without a doubt one of easily the rising stars in wrestling right now. So much potential, so much time on his side as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2022 brings for the Ultimate Finesser. But that's my list. It's now your turn to tell me your breakout stars for 2022 in the comments below. Tell me why I should have included Veer or Omos in the lineup. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, please share, please subscribe as well. Tell a friend that SCW is here. More videos are on the way, and plenty of videos have been released already this year. Make sure to go and check them out now, which are popping up right this second on the side of your screen. Take care, thank you for watching, have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you next time here on YouTube.